It's coming up to that time of year where some small percentage of cyclists maybe possibly even consider just about stepping into a gym to do some weight training. And if you're part of that really rogue group of cyclists that do some strength training over winter, then we're going to talk about some of the best exercises you can do to build strength. All jokes aside, we all know that cyclists should spend a good chunk of time in the gym, not just through winter, but all season and all year, to build strength for performance and make sure that you are keeping yourself resilient and staving away injuries and reducing the risk of picking up any niggles, aches and pains over the coming season. In this video, we're going to focus on legs because that is obviously one of the main areas for cyclists to build strength, but keep an eye out for some of our upcoming videos where we're going to talk about some of the more overlooked exercises that you're probably not doing. So the first exercise that we're going to talk about today is a split squat, and this is really important for building strength in those muscle groups like your quads and your glutes that are obviously really important for producing power. And this is where a lot of cyclists leave a lot of performance gains on the table, because we can work these muscles in a way that would never normally get worked when you're just riding a bike. Even when you're doing very low cadence, high torque efforts, you still can't build the same amount of strength and generate the same amount of power that you can do during a split squat. One of the main reasons I've included this exercise specifically in this video is that it's a single leg exercise, so we can focus on one leg at a time. And this is really important for cycling because cycling is obviously a single leg sport. You're only pressing into the pedals one leg at a time. So if we just work on two legs together during a full squat, for example, then there might be some imbalances there or some movement patterns that we want to sort of iron out a little bit. And doing these exercises single leg at a time is going to help build strength specific on left and right side. So I'm going to avoid turning this into a tutorial because there are a million videos on the internet out there from all the gym bros telling you how to do a split squat, but this is just my preferred way of doing it with a Smith machine and something behind you, whether it's a box or a bench, and we've got these nice handy rollers today to rest your foot on. And we're going to go under the bar, foot nice and far forward, back foot resting on your bench or box, and then just down into a deep-ish squat. So for all of these types of exercises where we are trying to build strength, it's going to be really important to get the weight and the reps right. And this is where a lot of cyclists go wrong in the gym because they don't do high enough weight and they do too many reps. When we're riding the bike, it's all sort of low resistance, high rep type exercise. And when we're in the gym, we want to work those muscles in a very different way to build proper strength on the bike. So what I'm going to suggest is anything between 6 and 8 reps, and at the end of those 6 and 8 reps you should be pretty done. Like, you shouldn't be able to lift anymore. And if you can do 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps, that would be a really good way to spend your time in the gym to make sure that you're building strength and you're not replicating the same type of exercise that you get when you ride your bike. The reason for that is that when you ride your bike, you're not building pure strength, you're building a lot of muscular endurance. And when we're lifting in the gym, we want to build pure strength, and that's where we're going to be able to build that type of energy in the muscle. So it's really important not to just replicate everything you're doing on the bike and to make sure that you're getting or giving the muscle a different type of stimulus. And the way this translates to the bike is that if you've got the best power that's available in your muscles, then you're going to be able to produce that power loads easier on the bike, and it's going to make riding easier because your muscles have more strength, and it's going to really increase that top end power that you can produce on the bike when you're sprinting or climbing and you need those high torque, high power efforts. So the second exercise we're going to talk about now is the trusty leg press, and this is fantastic for cycling for obvious reasons in that it mimics a pedal stroke really nicely. It's using all of those same muscle groups that you're going to use when you are producing power on the bike, and it's just a really nice way to combine all of those muscle groups in one exercise. I would definitely suggest doing a variation of single leg and double leg presses for the same reason we mentioned earlier, in that cycling is a single leg sport and it's good for control if you can test each leg independently of each other and make sure that your dominant leg isn't compensating for the other and making sure that you're getting a good workout on both sides. So how you do a leg press is pretty obvious on a leg press machine, but there are a few variations that you can do to target different muscle groups. I like to do a little bit of a mix of heels. So you can really push through your heels whilst you're doing the leg press to really target glutes and hamstrings a lot more. Or you can come onto your forefeet and really push through the balls of your feet to put a little bit more pressure onto your quads. And again, doing a little bit of a mix of both is good. And for whatever you're trying to achieve at the gym, you can choose what's going to be best for you. The other thing that's good to make sure whilst you're doing the leg press is really going deep into hip flexion when you're getting to the bottom of the press. So you're really working the muscle through the full range of movement rather than just working in the outer range there. So the same rep and weight advice applies to that exercise that it did to the split squat exercise. And I just want to bring up something that we get asked a lot about gym exercises for cyclists, and a lot of cyclists talk to us about the gym and say, oh, I don't really want to go to the gym because I'm worried about DOMs and my legs getting sore afterwards. And obviously the response to that is your legs will get sore when you go to the gym. If they're not getting sore, you're not doing enough to create some sort of physiological response that's going to improve your strength. The first time you go to the gym and do these exercises, your legs are probably going to be sore for about a week, and that's just how it is. It's the same whenever you start any new exercise, whether it's when you go running for the first time, when you rode your bike for the first time, your legs will have been sore afterwards. But the more you do it, the more regular you do it, and as long as you're sensible and gradually building up the weight from when the first time you go to a few weeks down the line, then your muscles are going to be fine. You're going to be able to go to the gym and do these sorts of reps and weights without any negative effect. And obviously we're talking about through winter, where a lot of people don't ride their bike as much as they do through summer. And I did say that the gym is important at any time of year, but when we're in this winter period where most people aren't racing or wanting to smash their mates to bits on the local club ride as much as they are in summer, then it's okay to be a little bit sore in the legs and not on your peak cycling form, in preference for building all of this strength at the gym that's really going to help you out in the summer. So the third and final exercise that we're going to talk about on this video is called the Nordic hamstring curl. And essentially what that is an eccentric exercise for the hamstrings. And if you're not sure what eccentric exercises are, basically that is loading a muscle through a stretch and through its range of movement. So it'll make a bit more sense when I show you what this is in a minute. But the reason I've included this in the program is that this exercise specifically has a ton of really good research behind it for reducing injuries, improving strength, improving hamstring flexibility. So if you're someone who feels like they've got tight hamstrings, this is a great exercise for you specifically. So this exercise can be done in a number of ways. I'm obviously on a bench with a roller at the back, so it's blocking my feet, because what we're going to do is start in this kneeling position with your feet held, and we're just going to really slowly lower ourselves down, really nice and slow and controlled, using our hamstrings to resist the movement, if you like. So keeping your back straight and your pelvis level, slowly resist as much as you can until you can't anymore. Push yourself back up and start again. So there's 3 exercises out of a possible 1,000 exercises that we could have chosen that cyclists should probably be doing at the gym, especially this winter and definitely through the season as well. Let me know in the comments if there's any other exercises that you really like doing that is good for building strength on the bike. And if you'd like to see more of this content, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video, and you'll see some more videos around gym exercises and bike fit and cycling in general coming soon.